this is Amy at Amy's Free Motion Quilting Adventures. You can find my blog at freemotionquiltingadventures.blogspot.com, and I'm doing a monthly focus on feathers. So this is a very brief overview of a very wide and varied topic. There are a lot of ways of doing feathers, a lot of styles of doing feathers. And the one rule I've always had is find what works for you. And so feathers have two basic structures, the spine and the plume. And you need to keep the idea of the shape of the plume in your mind as you work on feathers, and it will help you do it freehand. So you can think of a heart, feather plume is kind of a half of a heart shape, or you can think of it as a teardrop shape. When we make our plumes, though, we don't start from the top and go to the bottom for each plume. We start at the bottom and go to the top. So you're drawing your feather shape this way, your feather plume this way. Your teardrop, it's coming this way, and it's not going all the way back to the point. Right? It's almost like a very hooked question mark. Ta-da! Question mark. So, there are many ways of doing it, and the more traditional feather is going to be more heart-shaped. This is what you'll see on some of the older Mennonite work type quilts. They're going to be much more heart-shaped. And this is your top plume. I'm going to come back down my spine. I have marked in pencil some spine lines on here. I don't know if you can see them all that well. It's a little bit too big for a traditional feather. Let me get it back in there to match my other side. Okay, so that's more of a traditional feather. And we have a more modern type feather that's more of a teardrop shape. Most people will find that they need to work their feathers from the bottom to the top. And in order to do that, you can do as I just showed you by going back down the spine and coming back up. You also can do a very modern, very whippy style feather. And this is something that you can do very nicely with what they call bump back feathers. And I'll show you that in a minute. Right now I'm just doing kind of a backtrack style of feather. But I'm going to go around the top of this feather to get back to the bottom. This is echoing around the plumes. And I'm just so thankful that I can quilt better than I can draw. With some of these more modern feathers, you can really get very whippy and plume-like and curvy. Alright, and since I did not go down my spine, I'm going to go back out and echo around to get back down to the bottom, just to make it even. Now, backtrack. I talked about backtracking. So this is your basic backtrack feather. And each plume stacks on the one before it, and that's where I'm backtracking. And I'm just going to come back right down here. So you're stitching over a previous plume's line of stitching. And that's why we call it a backtrack feather. I'm going to mark my backtracks here in red. Those are all the backtracks. So this is a backtrack feather. Right. Then we've got the bump back feather. This is a more long arm style feather. Start with your plume, and then instead of coming back up this plume shape, you're going to go up your spine just a little bit. Come up, you gotta make sure you have that teardrop or half heart in your mind so you get a nice curve, and you're backtracking across the tip and coming out up the spine, around, bump, bump, around. You can really get some really curvaceous feathers by doing this. Oops, started to do a backtrack feather there. Just do my top plume there, come back down. So again, my first plume, coming up here, bumping, back in. This is where those really long whippy style feathers can really have fun with, getting really big and out here. So this is a bump back feather. Let me come back in here and show you where I've backtracked. Here, here, all the way around there. Here, 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 and there. So compared to my backtrack feather, there is less backtracking on the bump back feather, and it's all at the outside instead of the inside. Then there is the no backtrack feather, and get it situated here. Each plume is drawn separately. This is a more modern feather. You have to keep your spacing of your plumes pretty even to keep it from looking too messy. I'll come back down here. This is a good way to start where you don't have to worry about backtracking. Again, keep those spacings nice and even and it looks much neater. So no backtrack. Then we have what I've been referring to as a spineless feather. It does actually have a spine. I've drawn it on here in pencil. But this is a much more teardrop shaped plume, coming almost all the way back to the beginning and then coming over here and doing this side. And you're almost using your previous plume as the spine for the next plume. So there's your spineless. And then there's a hooked shape. Here's my penciled spine. I'm going to do first plume. And I'm coming up like I'm doing a bump back feather, but my plume's a little funny shape because I'm going to come up here and do a hook. And then your feather is a series of hooks. Then you want to watch your angle of your spine because you can get too fat, very blunt, or you can get too pointy and narrow. You don't want to go way back. And that's what I've got for feathers. And this is Amy at Amy's Free Motion Quilting Adventures. Come check out the blog at freemotionquiltingadventures.blogspot.com. We'll be talking about feathers all month. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.